All right, everybody, thanks for coming. As you know, the big day is next week. Our new C++23 compiler is going live. This is a huge deal. It's going to give us a ton of new tools to make our code way safer, faster, and honestly, just a lot easier to read. So the whole point of this session is to give you a really practical roadmap. We're going to look at what's new and, more importantly, how we can start using it right away, like from day one.
Okay, so just a quick heads up before we really get into it. This presentation was put together with some AI help, and it's actually part of a new Udemy learning path we're rolling out internally. We're trying out some new tools to help us all get up to speed, which is pretty cool. All right, with that out of the way, let's dive in.
So here's the game plan for today. We'll kick things off with a quick look at what modern C++ is all about. Then we'll jump into a three-phase plan. Phase 1 is all about the quick wins, the easy stuff. Phase 2 gets into modernizing our core code. And Phase 3, that's the fun part, unlocking some serious performance. And finally, we'll talk about a concrete migration roadmap for the whole team.
All right, let's get started. Section 1, Welcome to Modern C++. We're calling this a pragmatic evolution for a reason.
So the philosophy behind C++23 is what's really key here. It's not about some, flashy, revolutionary new feature that changes everything overnight. Instead, what you'll see is a ton of really smart, thoughtful enhancements. The whole focus is on improving our productivity, making our code safer, and boosting performance. It's all about practical stuff that makes our day-to-day lives as developers better.
Okay, so keeping that practical mindset, let's jump into Section 2. This is Phase 1, the quick wins. Think of these as the low-hanging fruit, low-risk, high-reward refactors we can start doing right away. First up, a personal favorite, and I know you've all written this 1,000 times. That awful string.find not equal to std string.endPost line. It's so clunky, right? Just to check if a string contains something? Well, C++23 finally fixes this. Now we just have string.contains. It's so much cleaner. It says exactly what it's doing. This is a pure readability win, and we should be using this everywhere immediately.
All right, next up, let's talk about silencing those compiler warnings that we all just kind of ignore. You know the one, the signed/unsigned mismatch in our for loops. We've all seen it. The fix is so simple now. Just use the uz literal. So instead of int I equals 0, you write auto I equals 0 uz. This tells the compiler, hey, make I a size t, so it matches vec.size. Boom! No more warnings, no more ugly casts, just clean, correct code.
Okay, now let's look at something we do constantly, especially in our tools and tests. Printing stuff to the console. This is the old-school iostream way. I mean, look at it. All those little KK operators juggling strings and variables. It's just so verbose, and honestly, it's a pain to read and write.
And here's the after. So much better, right? C++23 gives us standard.println. It's one clean function call, kind of like Python's print. And here's the best part. It's totally type-safe, so no more weird formatting bugs. And get this, it's also way faster than iostreams. This is a massive win for our tests, our debug tools, everywhere. We can start using this on day one.
All right, so those were the quick wins. Now let's move on to Section 3, or Phase 2. This is where we start looking at bigger stuff, modernizing our core code, especially how we build our APIs and handle errors. So I want you to just take a second and think about this. How can we simplify those really gnarly data processing loops that are all over our codebase? You know the ones I'm talking about. They've got nested if statements, they're creating temporary vectors, they're just hard to follow. Well, the answer is the ranges library. This is a complete game changer. Instead of writing out a complicated for loop, you build a pipeline. It's really cool. You start with your data, let's say a vector of logs. Then you just pipe it through a filter to pick out only the log entries you care about. Then you pipe that result into a transform to pull out, say, just the message string, and then you can pipe that whole thing directly into a new vector. It becomes this one, single, beautiful expression that says what you want to do, not how to do it.
Next up, error handling. You know our old pattern of passing in a reference to an output parameter and then returning some error code? It's not great. It's so easy for the caller to just forget to check that error code. std_expected totally changes the game. Look at the new signature. The function now says, I will return either the integer you want or a parse error. It makes failure a first-class citizen. The type system itself makes you handle both the success and the failure cases. This is going to wipe out an entire class of bugs for us.
Okay, and that brings us to our final phase, Section 4, Unlocking Performance. Now we're talking about the expert-level tools. This is for when we really need to get into those critical hotspots and squeeze out every last bit of speed.
Okay, so for years, stdmap has been the default choice, right? But here's the thing. Its internal structure, with all those separate nodes and pointers, is just awful for the CPU cache. Enter std flatmap. It stores everything in one big, flat, contiguous block of memory. And what does that mean for performance? Well, as you can see, lookups and just iterating over the whole thing are way faster because it's so cache-friendly. The trade-off is that insertions are slower. So for our many read-mostly workloads, like all of our config data, this is an absolute no-brainer for a performance boost.
And this chart really just hammers that point home. Look at the lookup speed for flatmap. It's a clear winner. But then look at random inserts. Map pulls ahead because it doesn't have to shift a bunch of elements around. So it's not a magic bullet. It's about knowing your access patterns and picking the right tool for the job. And for a lot of our jobs, flatmap is the right tool. All right, let's talk about another place where we fight for performance. Multidimensional data, like grids or matrices. This is how we've been doing it. That manual C-style pointer arithmetic to calculate an index into a 1D array. Sure, it's fast when you get it right. But man, is it error-prone. One little typo in that formula, and you've got a buffer overflow or a bug that you'll spend a week trying to find.
And now, look at the C++23 solution, std mdspan. It's a non-owning view over that same block of data, but it gives us this beautiful, intuitive syntax, grid ij. But here is the absolute best part, the magic of it all. This is a zero overhead abstraction. That means the compiler takes the safe, readable code and boils it down to the exact same optimal pointer arithmetic we were trying to write by hand. We get all the safety and readability with literally zero performance cost. It's incredible.
Okay, let's bring it all home. Section 5, your migration roadmap. Let's talk about the practical stuff, what we can do starting next week, and what the next steps look like.
So here's a quick look at where things stand with compiler support. The really good news is that our toolchain is in great shape. We've got solid support for a lot of the big ones we just talked about: print, expected, even mdspan. Now, you'll see some things are partial or not there yet, like flat might be a little ways off. But the bottom line is there is a ton of value we can start getting from this upgrade immediately.
So that's the Whirlwind Tour. The compiler upgrade is happening next Tuesday, so I want to leave you all with one question. What are you going to refactor first? I want you to think about that one piece of code you deal with every day, that one ugly loop or that annoying find call. Could it use contains, or println, or expected? Let's start small, let's start smart, and let's start making our codebase better, one refactor at a time. Thanks, everyone.